Mary Angelou said, "They will forget what you said, but they will never forget how you made them feel." A Biennale is an exposition, has themes, but also a way to represent them. So we thought that since we were talking about grafting, we made two physical grafts. A big portal, which we baptized Archifunnel, is a breed between an arch, a monumental arch, and a funnel, is a metal big piece which introduces the exposition. As you get out, we baptized this the ribbon of the virgins. This was the garden of the virgins of an old monastery. So this is a sort of something between a bench and a sculpture where you can sleep, sit, type on your computer. We think the Biennale has to do with culture, but also about feelings and fun. You know, you come to Venice for many reasons, not only to see the monuments, but also to live its environment. So we're trying to represent what we're talking about in an environmental way. This environmental theme is also what is represented in a section we do about the Expo. Milano, we will have in 2015 Expo, a big exposition. So we have a section of this show which shows how all these foreign contributors come to put the seed into the Expo in Milano, and we'll also try to see what will be the future of Expo after the exposition. This idea of metamorphosis of a territory where an Expo is an event, but there's a long range of influences of how you modify the soil. The theme given by Rem Koolhaas to the national participation, which is absorbing modernity, is a crucial one. We try to interpret Italian modernity in the last 100 years in a particular key, which is Innesti. In English it's grafting. A grafting is a violent act. It acts on an organism, but also takes the responsibility of its transfiguration. So we saw Italian modernism of the last 100 years having to find specific strategies to graft on a very layered territory. You know, if you go to Rome, everything is grown over its own ruins. And we saw Italy pursuing modernity. So Italy is a country, not just an historical country, but had moments of great leap forward. But the culture of architecture of last century always found ways, more complex strategies to try to transfigure and introject what was existing into the new project. This is articulated in different ways. The first section is related to Milano. Milano was very heavily bombed during the Second World War. In '43 we had the great bombings, but the bombings of Milano were scattered. So the idea after the war was to reconstruct Milano with single buildings grafting on what was left of the historical center, and this building had to find peculiar ways to adapt to the existing. So we will go through moments like Gioponti. We have a theme of how high-rise buildings dealt with the fabric of the city, some kind of urban skyscraper. We looked at modern buildings which completed existing ones and so on. The second part is dedicated to contemporary Italian landscape, and again we were looking for projects, whatever scale they had. We had quite large projects, but also small ones, which add on a very specific context. So we chose projects which are site-specific, and many times the peculiarity of the site has to be transfigured. Then we have many minor episodes, some postcards from the world where foreign architects send us their own interpretation of Italian culture, architectural culture, and we had a commission some kind of amateur video makers to take shots of Italian urban environments. So we made a big screen with hundreds of live scenes where we see how spaces determine life, but also life changes the spaces. we call it inhabited landscapes. And we think all these things together give a very peculiar view of Italian modernism, which is now considered something very special because of this complexity of the territory.